254, 254, 254. I'm not very talented when it comes to music, but I love listening to it. And 3 great episodes so far today, huh, people? Now it's time for my self-indulgent episode 254, where I break out the media player. Oh, the horror. And I just can't seem to get it down to list 20.
Joseph Conrad quote. Holy
Don't
cow.
even try to find more. What happened?
Joseph Conrad quote. The horror, the horror.
The horror. Yeah, man. Because after I use them on the episode, I delete them, But there's more. And somebody was mentioning something about jazz and session musicians, and I think last night, my algorithm gave me a reminder that the section once existed, and that'll give you a chance maybe to tell some kind of story, Jim. So maybe I better go with that, even though I'm only going to eliminate one of these. Oh God, here comes a section. So they had 3 albums, and the first one came out in 72. So you can see that I didn't buy it because it wasn't as lively as the other 2. I like 73's Forward Motion, really good album. And the one that hit me in the algorithm, ouch, was the Fork It Over. And so I remember buying that album back then, buying the LP in 77. And I had a friend that was into jazz rock, and I think he's the one that turned me on to it. It's hard to remember, but I know his name was Frank. And interestingly enough, on this album, the musicians in the section themselves are legendary session musicians, right? They've done sessions for everybody from Jackson Browne to Warren Zevon, and Linda Ronstadt, and Joni Mitchell, and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and James Taylor, and I'm probably forgetting a few of them, but you get the idea.
Wow, I gotta listen to more of those guys. Those are all good.
Yeah, and
I love the titles on that Fork It Over.
they got some wit.
Hamsters of Doom. I love that.
Hamsters of Doom.
We might play a little bit of that. Bad Shoes.
Wait, here they come now. The Hamsters of Doom.
Bad Shoes has a vocal by James Taylor. And that's probably the one cut I don't want to play if I want to avoid copyright issues. But let's go to the Hamsters of Doom since we're there.
Yeah.
See what happens. See if this can be heard. This is a story of the Hamsters of Doom.
Rolling out of their cages at midnight one January day, they approached the city with a vile intent.
This really does sound like narrative music. And then one day, the hamsters got crazy.
They found a guinea pig. Just outside Farmer John plant on Soto Street in East LA.
They had a nickname, these guys. They were called the Mellow Mafia. Because they're on those Mellow records and everything, by all those artists I just named.
It caused a problem for them later in their careers. They couldn't get session work because people thought they were just too mellow and they couldn't play rock. Danny Kuchmar was complaining, he can play all kinds of styles, but nobody was booking him as a session man anymore.
Isn't Danny Kuchmar the guy who played with James Taylor?
Yeah, they did.
That's what I thought. I read a book on James Taylor recently. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and Jim, didn't you say you met somebody who met somebody? No, none of those names pop up from section.
I can't think of it.
And Danny Korchman.
No,
Who else is in the section?
who else is in the
How
section?
you look this up, man? They're like extremely famous session musicians on these extremely famous 70s albums.
Huh.
Jackson Browne, come on, they're on Jackson Browne's albums.
David Lindley, is he in there?
They were on
No,
David
he
Lindley's
wasn't in it.
albums.
No.
Do I have to do this? We'll do this real quick. Dead air. All right, the section, which I already looked up. There they are. Okay, so it was Danny Korchmer, Craig George, Leyland Sklar,
Oh, Leland
Russ-
Sklar.
Russ
Right.
Kunkel,
Wow.
guitarist Waddy Watchell, and David Lindley also was with this group for an album. And of course, they played with who? They played with, they were on these albums: Tapestry, Carole King Tapestry, James Taylor, Sweet Baby James, Jackson Browne's Running on Empty, something about David Sanborn here. Let's see.
Wow.
They were on the hit singles: It's Too Late, You Got a Friend, How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, Doctor My Eyes, Rock Me on the Water, Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me, Carrie, Shadow Captain, Just a Song Before I Go, Wind on the Water. Yeah, so they
That's quite a resume right there.
Yeah,
Really is.
very unique. Well, you had enough sampling? Are we finished? No
Hamsters of
requests?
Doom.
We did Hamsters of Doom. Yeah,
Hamsters of Doom.
we're good to go.
That should be a band name.
That would be a great band name.
Then I guess we're done. We won't belabor it. Check out the sections, albums. They're jazz rock. They got rock. They can rock. They did I say they're like anybody? I don't know. They made me think of the versatility of the Dixie Dregs. I mean, that group had great versatility as well. They could play just about anything.
Wrecking Crew comes to mind.
And the Wrecking Crew made albums?
No, they actually
Session
never
musicians.
made it as
No.
a section. It's a shame. They could have.
Oh, well, on that happy note, hope to see you next week, everybody. Remember, we have a group on YouTube. I'm going to say we have our videos on YouTube. We have a group on Facebook. So you can catch us one way or the other on Facebook. You can post your own finds as well. Talk to these guys and all that fun stuff. Right? So for now.
Okay,